Hi, I'm Travis Elliott with National Control Devices. Welcome back to my desk for another product release we've got going on here. It's a pretty special day here at National Control Devices with this new release of the Taralist series. Now, a lot of you might be thinking, what is a Taralist controller? Well, a Taralist controller is actually what I like to call a time-activated relay controller. Now, one of the big goals for National Control Devices was to try and eliminate computers from a lot of applications. Computers are expensive. You have to write software to run on them. You have to program them to control what you're doing. They're just really cumbersome in a lot of applications. So the whole goal this year was to release as many products as possible that can actually run autonomously from a computer. Now, a lot of them do still require configuration from a computer, just like the Taralist series, but once you have them configured from the computer, they completely run on their own. They run off the parameters that you configure into them. There's no programming required to do this. Everything's done through a free download called the NCD configuration utility. So you just download that, connect the device to your computer, and configure it to do what you want it to do. Now, the Taralist series is a little bit special, I think, in that it's able to do something that previously just absolutely wasn't possible with a device like this. The Taralist controller is designed to turn on relays dependent on time, date, time of day, all that. Basically, let's put it like this. Think of a school bell in a school. All right, it rings at 9 a.m., it rings at 10:30, it rings at 2:30. It rings at several periods throughout the day. Now, before that actually required a computer, some specialized software, and a relay controller. That's not so anymore. With these devices, you can attach these to a computer, configure them, and then disconnect them from the computer and put them up where the bell is. You don't have to run wiring all the way up there to the school bell anymore from a centralized computer. So I could take this controller and I could load a list of events into it, up to 1,000 events. Now, an event is what you configure. It's actually a time of day and then a specific command for the controller to carry out. Now, that command could be something like just turn on one relay at 9 a.m. and then turn the relay back off at 9:01 a.m. Those would be two events. The first event would turn the relay on at 9 a.m. The second event would turn the relay off at 9:01 a.m. Now, that's pretty simple, but there's actually a lot of different things you can do with this device. I can set this device up so that it rings the bell at 9 a.m. to 9:01 a.m. Monday through Friday. Pretty easily. That's actually just 10 events to do that. I don't have to have the bell ring on Saturday whenever nobody's there. I mean, that's just kind of a waste. I can also configure it so the bell won't ring on December 25th, Christmas Eve, because no one's going to be at school on Christmas Eve, so why ring the bell? That actually only takes one event to disable the bell system on Christmas Eve. You can go through the entire school year and set up a schedule for every single day. And let's say there's a snow day and we don't want the bell to ring tomorrow or today. Actually, the school administrator can log on to the internet and connect to this device through direct TCP/IP communications. And with the new .NET series modules, these can be installed in the board. Plug your little Ethernet cable in right there. Plug that into a router with internet connection and on a static IP address. The administrator can just, from home, type in a website that goes to this device and disable the school bells for that day. So it's really just amazing the things that you can do with these devices now. You saw me just plug this right in here. The communication interface to these controllers is modular. I can have a .NET Ethernet module which allows web page control of the device. I can install a an ME module in here, which is another interface module, which another Ethernet module, which actually gives you direct TCP/IP communications to the device over a network. Really a lot of stuff you can do with that. It works a lot like the Ethernet controllers we've had for so long. I can put in a USB interface, so I can plug in a USB cable to it. I can install a multitude of wireless modules. We have 802.15.4, ZB Zigbee Mesh, and XSC. So how you want to connect to the controllers is really up to you. I mean, you've got almost every option imaginable. So I think the connectivity to these controllers is amazing as well. Now, we have these controllers available in a multitude of configurations. We have anything from a single relay controller like this right here. This would be a really nice low-cost controller for controlling like a school bell, something like that. And then we have everything up to a 64 relay controller here, and this thing is just a monster. But 64 relays all in one unit. It's actually a stack of 2 boards, really nice design. There's some through-hole cuts here so you can see the relay status LEDs for the relays on the bottom side. Really, really nice looking board. One of the, I think, the best looking boards we've ever put out. Now, another thing I want to mention is a lot of you may be a previous customer with this, and you might already have an XR expansion board. And you want to use a Taralist controller, but maybe you don't want to have to go out and buy 64 relays, but you already have 64 relays on expansion boards. Well, we went ahead and designed this device right here. This is actually a Taralist controller. It's got all the brains needed to control up to 256 relays, and they can be added through these expansion boards. Okay? And you've just got a ribbon cable right here. That ribbon cable plugs right in, and now I just added 8 relays. Maybe I want to add 8 30 amp relays here. Just plug that right in. I've got 8 more 30 amp relays. So all these devices are fully expandable. Even the 64 channel controller is expandable. It has an expansion port right here, and all I would have to do is just plug in this ribbon cable, and that's it, and you're ready to go. So up to 256 relays on any one of these boards. The single channel has the expansion port. All the Taralist controllers have an expansion port for adding additional relays in the future. So that's a really handy interface as well for these controllers. We really did the work on making sure that we could provide everything you could possibly need with this type of a controller. So I think that you guys are really going to like these. I'm going to do a setup video next that will actually go more in depth with how these devices work. I'll show you the software. I'll show you how to set the controller up. There's actually a multitude of things that you need to know about these controllers, because with this many abilities, there's a couple things you have to learn, but give yourself about an hour and you'll pretty much know how these devices work. So if you're interested in them, be sure and tune in to that setup video. I'll be doing that next, and by the end of that, I think you should be up and running with these things. So I hope to see you in that next video. I hope you'll come by and see us soon, and thanks for watching.